Yo guys, what's going on? So today is the 26th of November 2025. We're going to be going over today's price action, what trades I ended up taking. I ended up taking one trade today and I ended up winning today. Um, Pretty low risk, low size today. Probably should have risked a little bit more today, but it was fine. I ended up pulling my TP early because we had a bullish or a bearish SMT at my final take profit, which is just me sticking to my rules. Again, I would rather stick to my rules and focus on a dollar amount because that's stupid. Anyway, so I'm going to be going over what I seen coming into today, and how I was feeling about PA, and what my bias was, and what trade I ended up taking. So let's get right into it. So coming into today on the higher time frame, we were looking extremely bullish. Like overall, we have inversed every single gap to the left of us. The 4 hour, the 1 hour got inversed. Everything was inversed, right? Okay. Even if we scroll in and zoom in here on the hourly time frame, if we open up this hourly gap, came into this one, this 4 hour respected it, moved higher, then inversed this hourly gap as well, even within this small price range, which is like, yeah, we're very bullish. So I could see a bearish side of things though. Like there was the only reason was I had a slight like I could see bearish side was because we had an SMT divergence at my final draws on liquidity for today for NQ. But I like just looking at NQ's market structure overall, I just didn't really like. I was still pretty confident that we were going to go higher and deliver to these draws just because of like just looking at the higher time frame, just overall bias. Right, not going to let one bearish thing ruin what the market is telling me. So cool. Let's get into this and what I was looking for today. What I was looking for today was pretty simple. I was looking for price to trade lower on market open, price to come lower inside either this 15-minute down here or this 15-minute down here. I think there was a 30-minute as well. No, there wasn't. Okay, so yeah, just this 15-minute or this even more discounted 15-minute down here, maybe even an SMT at the low or whatever we wanted to do, and then have rejection out of one of these key levels and then make a move higher. Right. So with that in mind, let's see what market open does. Pretty simple buys, pretty straightforward. Let's see what happens. So this is what 925. So this is cool. So market opens higher, which is not what I wanted to see if I wanted to take longs, but that was okay. Market sometimes does just let market do what it does and see what happens and go from there. And we ended up kind of just chopping around a little bit here. We did end up displacing a small bit lower, but I wasn't a fan of anything here. Like there was a 4 minute fair value gap. This could have taken like a manipulation, or sorry, accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. But I wasn't a fan, to be honest. So I was just going to sit on my hands for this one. And then we ended up delivering higher again. Then we ended up poking in this high right here. Ended up sweeping out this liquidity that we made to the upside. And I think we had. Where was this? Mm, no, we didn't have anything here. Really? I think ES was rejecting out of the daily again, which was okay. So there was an actual good short here, though. That's the thing. I did like the short. There's no way that just went back. Oh my god. Hold on, right here. Yeah, cool. So there was a nice like 10 a.m. open, low, high, close kind of setup. Good like accumulation, manipulation right here. Again, here's the accumulation, and then this is the manipulation above these highs. And then on the way up on the manipulation leg, we ended up opening up this 4 minute fair value gap, as you can see forming right now. Hold on. Cool. So we opened up this 4 minute and then we completely displaced through it. And I wanted to take this because this was like super clean displacement, exactly what you'd like to see if you wanted to take a short. But I didn't take it. The reason I didn't take it was because I wasn't like a big fan of this because we weren't really rejecting off anything. Like it was a good trade though, don't get me wrong. I did like this, and I could have taken this, but it was also one we weren't rejecting off any higher time frame key levels. So this wasn't an A plus setup, but it was a good like accumulate. It was a good AMD model with a higher time frame inversion and clean displacement. But we weren't rejecting off any higher time frame key levels. And if you were to have like in like scenarios like this, I would prefer to have my stop loss at the high. And in this case, it was 60 points, which is whatever. But my take profit was only 50. So this was a negative RR trade. I wasn't really looking to take this, to be honest. It was a good trade though, and people did take this. What you could have done was, because this was really clean displacement, you could have simply just had your stop loss at the candle's body right here. So it's like a 39, 40 point stop, and then you would have been targeting like a 1 to 1.2 or whatever it was, but it's a little than a 1-to-1. And this was a pretty good trade, and this did definitely end up delivering. Break even point was pretty simple, just at these internal lows down here, pretty close to your take profit. But you know, you go break even when it's logical to do so. Ended up delivering down, so you didn't break even, and then you would have gotten your TP smacked right after. Okay, but this is fine because I was overall bullish on the day, so this was cool to see this. Um, we manipulated into this 15-minute, and we also I have this marked out here as well. This is the CE of the 1-hour wick, right? So we just tapped the CE and we came up and we respected it. We closed above this 15 minutes, so I was now like looking pretty bullish. And we also had something interesting as well, which was a massive. I don't know why this doesn't load in. It's super annoying. I'll show it after when I get out of replay mode. But we had a CVD divergence with this entire internal structure, like right here. We had a huge CVD divergence with where was it? Yeah, this entire structure right here. We had a bullish CVD divergence. So this is looking good now, to be honest. Like I had a feeling we might not go any higher than or any lower than this today. Okay. So with that in mind, we just had a lot. It was like similar to yesterday. We weren't really inversing gaps cleanly after this. We kind of started to chop a bit, and there was like a good 1-minute inversion right here. But again, like there was a 2-minute, there's a 3-minute right here. We're literally inside of a 5-minute. Like this wasn't like what I really want to see if I'm trying to take longs. Like they would be my break even points, and we're already in those when we were to inverse this gap. So I just kind of faded this, let market play out of it. I ended up just chopping around, and then cool. So we ended up inversing all the gaps within here. So we ended up inversing this 5-minute gap, right? So all the higher time frame or all the gaps within this leg of price got inversed. So I was like, cool. I am bullish now 100%. Like this is like a continuation model to the upside that I was willing to take. I was like, okay, cool. I'm 100% bullish up to this high at minimum, and then we can go higher from there if we choose to do so. Okay, and let me go over what happened. So we inversed this 5-minute. I didn't want to take this 5-minute directly, but what I was looking at was this 5-minute that we were now opening up, which I already have marked, as you can see right here. That was like a continuation model that I wanted to see. So we inversed this 5-minute, and now we opened up a new 5-minute. So inverse the bearish 5-minute, opened up a bullish 5-minute doing so. I was like, cool. If price retraces into this 5-minute fair value gap, and we poked in like a little 1-minute low right here too, which is nice. A little 1-minute low that we poked in. And then we came down, and we ended up sweeping at that low. So I was like, cool. At this point, everything I need to see is there. We had a CVD divergence with the bottom of this, with this entire structure, right? We had, this is also London session liquidity, I'm pretty sure, if I am correct. Let me blink. Okay, it's not, but it's still good liquidity, right? CVD divergence with all this structure. We rejected off this 15-minute, even tapped the discounted one, tapped the CE of the hourly wick, came up and respected all three of these, and we inversed a bearish 5-minute, and we opened up a bullish 5-minute with a nice rejection off of that too. So at this point, I was like, cool. What's the highest time frame inversion within this leg of price? There was no 2-minute. The highest time frame inversion within this leg of price was a 1-minute. So I was like, awesome. I will take this 1-minute and I will go B at this internal structure. And my final take profit will be pretty simple. Boom, boom, boom. Literally just have my stop at this low, targeting this high, right? So we ended up kind of chopping a little bit here. We moved even a little bit lower. I ended up doing this, opening up a new 5-minute, and this new 5-minute ended up rejecting even a little lower, but it still came all the way back up and respected this 5-minute fair value gap, right? This price action wasn't the best now, and again, that 1-minute was still the highest time frame inversion that there was that price had to offer. So once we got the inverse here, cool, on this candle, I entered longs. So it was like right here, and my stop was just at the low here, right? Because we had a 1-minute fair value gap that we opened as well on our way up, and price came into it, fully filled it and respected it, so my stop was just right down here. And I was literally break even just at these internal highs, because if we were going to be bullish off this move, I'd like to see us flush through these highs. Okay. So with that in mind, I ended up doing this, and then cool. So I was break even now on this trade. So I ended up going break even right here, this candle, and then we ended up delivering to. So I ended up taking my position off right here actually. So this is where I ended up taking my position off slightly early. It did hit my full take profit in the end, and it did actually end up hitting all my draws in the end. I'm pretty sure every single one of them got hit. I think. Yep, every single one of them got hit. Um, but the reason why I took my position off here was because we were kind of chopping around in this day, but this was a clean setup. But again, my rules are if ES takes my TP before NQ and there's a bearish SMT at my take profit, then I have to take my position off, right? And I'll show you when ES took that. So ES took that at 10:59, right? And at this point, 10:59 was like right here. So I ended up taking my position off on this candle right here. I caught around what it was like 30 points, and my stop loss was how much? Yeah, like 34. So I ended up actually like losing or taking technically a negative RR trade, but again, it's what you have to do because I have to follow my rules. I'm not going to break my rules just to pray that my take profit gets hit, even though there's a bearish SMT at it. And yeah, of course, I could have targeted my full draws on liquidity for the day, cut 100 points, but you know, don't need to do that. Um, so yeah, we made around. I think I took this with 6 micros, or 6 or 7 micro. 6, 7. I took this with like 6 or 7 micros. I think it was 6 micros. I should have traded a little bit higher, right? I probably should have risked a little bit more, so probably like 9 or maybe even just 1 minute, because this was 34 points. This wasn't a bad stop loss at all. Um, this was decent. This was a decent stop loss. So yeah, that's basically it. Full TP was smashed in the end though, and it was a great continuation model. But again, I had to follow my rules, so that's basically it for today. Still recovering a little bit from that mistake yesterday where we slightly over leveraged. I guess that was probably in the back of my mind today. That's why I entered this with lower cons. I feel because I just like didn't want to make that same mistake again, but I sort of overthought it in the moment. But it's whatever. Still a good trade. Happy I stayed patient and waited for it. Didn't get greedy. Followed my rules and took profits when I had to, when I felt like I had to, and felt like it was logical to do so. And that's basically it. So bias was basically spot on for today. And we hit TP, I guess, and it's another winning day for the model. So cool. That's basically it. That's going to be it for today's recap, guys. Pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Um, and again, of course, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll answer them down below. And if you guys want to personally talk to me or ask me any questions, like not in the comments, or you want to talk to me personally again, you can add my Discord, which is going to be in the bio. I'll add you back and then we can have a conversation. Or my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, shoot me a DM. I'll also answer that. And you guys can check out my TikTok as well. When I post the daily recaps, I always post on my story on all three social media platforms, or the two social media platforms being TikTok and Instagram. And yeah, that's basically it for today's recap, guys. Hopefully tomorrow offers another nice continuation model or a clean setup. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today's recap. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.